Hey guys, it's Kalel here. Very exciting week this week. So much has happened. So, one, I have a Disney cast member again. Crazy. The interview was amazing. I got my same role, same location, which is incredible. The interview, it was really just, why are you applying to Disney? Were you a CP? Do you want your old role back? What location do you want? That was it. It was the easiest interview I have ever been through, especially for a Disney interview. I was like, please, yes, this is what I want. I have been in a Disney resort mood, so I'm currently watching this video by Disney Food Blog, which I watched so much of before my CP started. Like, I wanted to know everything as being a person who had never been to Disney before. I wanted to know everything there was about Disney. Watched a lot of Disney Food Blog, and now I'm in a Disney resort mood. Which, I mean, is pretty common for me. I usually go to Disney resorts. I've been 3 times in the 2 years I've lived here. Twice to Animal Kingdom Lodge, once to Coronado Springs. Both I loved. I'm really trying not to go back to Animal Kingdom Lodge because that is my absolute favorite. I definitely am not trying to go back there. Not because I don't love it, but because I want to experience other places, and I want to go back. Like, I'm trying not to, but it's very hard. Anyways, the point of me bringing this up was to ask you guys a question, because on this, they're asking fans their least favorite resorts. And what we were planning for our next resort was Caribbean Beach Resort, which was our next day. We were going to try to get one of the pirate themed rooms, which is going to be a little harder now that we're getting into more of a peak season with summer coming up. Peak season's about to start coming. I know the cheerleading events have already started because there's a cheerleading event today as I'm filming. So I know it's going to be a little harder, but I did see on this video for one of the most disliked resorts, Caribbean Beach was there, which I think, I'm not a Florida resident, but I do live here. I've been here for 2 years now. Being here all the time, like going to Disney parks, isn't my main concern because I am there all the time anyways, so it doesn't really bother me. I actually just kind of like staying at the resort and experiencing the resort, which I understand a lot of guests don't want to do because it might be their only time to be here, or it might be, like, their time's crunched. You don't just want to stay at the resort. I get that. But as a person who's here all the time, I want to experience the resort. And seeing Caribbean Beach on here makes me wonder, is it actually a bad resort, or do people just not like it because of how big it is? Like, what's going on there? Because Coronado Springs was also on this list. And I did mention that I stayed at Coronado Springs, and I really liked it. I think we stayed the night, and then we went to Magic Kingdom later that night because we got extra magic hours being in a resort, but we mostly just stayed in the resort. And I do remember how big it was and how long it took us to walk from the lobby to the room because we were on the very back side of the resort, like complete opposite. It took us a while to actually find our room because we did get lost, but I really enjoyed that resort. Is it just how big it is that people don't like? How far it is from the resorts? Because now Caribbean Beach has the Skyliner, which I'm still terrified of. I do not like the Skyliner. I would take the bus if my boyfriend didn't drag me onto the Skyliner every time. But it's like Caribbean Beach is right next to Riviera. It's fairly close to Epcot, if I remember right. Epcot or Studios, one of the two. Skyliner access, so you have access to both parks anyways. And even then, like, accessing both parks doesn't really bother me. I'm just kind of there for the resort, which is why I love Animal Kingdom Lodge so much, because I'm there for the resort. So is it as bad as people say? Can y'all let me know if it is? Anyways, main point of this video, completely diverged from the main point. I have been an annual pass holder to Universal since I first got here, and now I get to ride the Velocicoaster on Wednesday, which I am absolutely terrified of. I am a huge roller coaster person, absolutely love roller coasters, but for some reason the Velocicoaster terrifies me. And Daniel has been on it 2 or 3 times. I can't remember which, because he is now a Velocicoaster team member, which is so exciting. I am so proud of him. And he says it's not as bad as he was expecting. And he doesn't take to roller coasters as much as I do, but I'm still terrified of the Velocicoaster. I want to take you guys along with me during that whole thing, the Velocicoaster. I don't know how far I can actually take you because I know there is a metal detector. We're gonna see how far I can take you. So we made it to the Velocicoaster. I thought we were not gonna get in because I'm stupid and scheduled my appointment at the same time as my reservation for this. So, but they let us in, which is great because we're 2 hours late. It's fine. I am high-key terrified of this thing. So yeah, I don't know how it's gonna go because I'm not looking forward to this. And I broke my glasses, so I can't wear them during this whole thing, which is fine, I guess, which is fantastic. Why is it so small? Y'all, this drop is about to murder me. And then we go upside down here. My glasses, gone. Gone. They will be in that water with the Mosasaurus because they'll be gone. The lighting's actually really cool in this area. I don't know how it works, but it's so cool. And then the voice is Mr. DNA for the videos. Oh. We think that's Echo. That's Blue. I'm thinking this one's Charlie. And then Delta. I think this one's Charlie because it's absolutely clueless. Like, that would be me as a raptor. Absolutely clueless as to whatever is happening around me. And this is the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. DNA. I'd be angry too, though. It looks so cool. So I just got off of it and it was amazing. I didn't think I would like it that much. I was honestly kind of scared of it. And they put us in the front row because of course they did. But it was amazing. I loved it. I'm sorry I'm so like whitewashed right now. The sun is very much setting and in my face. I don't know what all to say about it. The raptor paddock was really cool. I think that was my favorite part. And going over the water was really cool, which I loved that. I thought it went by really fast, but I didn't think the roller coaster was so fast. Does that make sense? There it goes. Behind me is the raptor paddock, so there is like opening so you can watch it. I'm still really shaky from it, and it did give me a really bad headache. But other than that, amazing. I would do it when it opens up. See what I mean? Okay, amazing. Definitely try it out when you get the chance. There's a squirrel in there. Little guy, please. Let's wait. How did the squirrel get there? No. So it's been a few days since I rode the Velocicoaster. I still don't really have the words for it. I'm gonna take my glasses off because I broke them, and I will get to that in a second. My experience with the Velocicoaster, I think, might be a little different than most people's. I know since I've ridden it, they've pretty much soft-opened every day for the general public. As long as you get there before the lines are at full capacity, I think is the thing with the Velocicoaster. So the reason why I think my experience was a little different than other people's was because I could not wear my glasses during the experience. So my glasses broke. The screw kind of just fell out of it. I was at work and the screw just fell out and they fell off my head. While I was in the middle of some guest interactions, I turned my head and the whole thing just fell. And of course I was outside at the time, so my glasses fell on the ground and I was never able to find the screw ever again. I was not able to ride the Velocicoaster wearing my glasses. And completely my choice. I knew the roller coaster goes upside down. I know, like, from the gist of it, I knew what the Velocicoaster was. And I knew my glasses fall off my head randomly anyways, so I don't want to be upside down over the water and then lose my glasses forever. So I left them in the lockers, and I rode blind, and I could kind of see some things, so I could see inside the raptor enclosure. I saw, I believe, 3 of the 4 raptors. I saw them. I don't know where the 4th one was, which Daniel told me normally people who ride it the first time don't get to see all 4 anyways, So the fact I was able to see 3 of the 4 in the first place was pretty impressive, considering I can't see anything without my glasses. It's a great time. I also didn't really record after it. As the person I am, I always overwork myself to the point where I get sick from stress. So the day we went was my only day off of work, and I was so overworked and tired. My head just hurt, and the whole experience just made my headache worse. And by the time we got out, I didn't really want to film anymore. So I already felt like I was getting dehydrated. I had my water bottle with me the whole time. I was drinking plenty of water. I felt like the water I was taking in wasn't making up for the water I was losing. So that made my headache worse. The roller coaster made my headache worse. Everything just was not in my favor that day. So I did not feel like recording the rest of the day. But I really, really enjoyed the Veloci Coaster. Granted, everything I just said was kind of a con, but I really liked this roller coaster. I'm a huge roller coaster person to begin with, so I was already excited for it. I was a little scared of it, and of course, we got the front row, which made me even more terrified, because there are times where I do ride roller coasters without my glasses on, just because I'm a little unsure of how stable my glasses are, and the fact that they just fell off my head kind of proves why I kind of feel a little towards my glasses. And whenever I ride a roller coaster for the first time, I hate not wearing my glasses because I can't see anything that's happening. So we were in the front row, and if you don't know, your feet kind of dangle on the seat. So it was a time I couldn't see a majority of the ride, which I think actually made it better because I couldn't see the high drops, and I am terrified of heights. But I also am a little bit of an adrenaline junkie. They kind of cancel each other out in those situations, so I don't actually know what the experience would have been like if I had my glasses on. But I would definitely recommend it. Like I said, as of right now, Veloci Coaster is still, as of right now, keyword, Veloci Coaster is still having a soft open. I know they open in June, so very soon. I also have an update about my status here in Orlando. I told you guys before in this video that I got accepted back into Disney. I was originally going to go back to my home location, my main role, which was custodial in Magic Kingdom West. Unfortunately, I did not pass my physical. A lot of people don't know this, but custodial and I believe housekeeping, they have to pass a physical in order to go into the role. Custodial has a lot of times where you're going to have to lift stuff that's heavy. And after doing a year of quarantine, I am not in the best physical shape. I don't know if I'm actually legally allowed to talk about what's happening at the test. So I'm not going to for those reasons. I do think Poet is a little much for what you have to do at Poet versus what you do in the parks. I don't think they're like a good representation of each other. There's one specific part I'm thinking about that's not the best representation for what you're doing in the parks. I took it, I didn't pass that part, and he told me, the guy who did my test, he told me, oh, you did fine. These test results are going to follow you up until you finish traditions, blah, 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 blah. That whole thing. So I left thinking I did A-okay. I thought I was done and I was going back to custodial, but I got an email the next day. I got an email from Disney and I got an email from my recruiter who I had been talking to the whole time. Both were saying I did not pass my Poet, which was the physical, and I would have to choose another role. Now, I am 22 years old. The only time I've ever worked food and beverage, like anything like that, I worked at Jack in the Box. It was my first job. I wanted a job where I knew I wasn't going to spend money, so I picked Jack in the Box. But that was when I was 16. I'm 22 now. I turn 23 next month, so there's a big gap in those stages of my life. And the recruiter, she said, all of my other stuff between then and now have been kind of merchandise roles or hospitality. Neither one I'm particularly excited to get into, but it's a lot better than I would want for food and beverage. Food and beverage just is not on my list of roles that I would want to do. It was actually Food and beverage was at the bottom of my list. That was the one I was like, I do not want this. I don't know if I would accept a role if it was offered to me, so we'll see what happens, because I don't know. So I got in touch with my recruiter, and she said, hey, just so you know, you didn't pass your poet, blah, 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 paraphrasing obviously. Based on your previous job experiences, we believe that food and beverage would be best for you. And immediately, all the signs in my head are ticking. They're all saying, no, don't do this. This is not what you came here for. This is not what you want to do. Do not put yourself in a role that you don't want. It just wasn't for me. So I chose not to do that. I talked to the recruiter, and I asked if Trek and Trails was available, because all of my jobs since Jack in the Box have also been dealing with animals. I asked, is Trek and Trails available? Because that's what I was talking to my leader during my CP about, trying to get over to Trek and Trails. If you don't know what Trek and Trails is, it's pretty much just the trails that you go on at Animal Kingdom and just talk about the animals. I am 10 million% that guest that just stands there and talks to the Trek and Trails cast member, asking all of the questions about all of the animals, especially the okapi, because the okapi is my favorite. So I asked her, hey, this is my background in most of my jobs. Is there a chance that Trek and Trails is available in attractions? If not, can I do merchandise? She gets back to me. She says attractions is a little bit of a tricky one, which I had heard attractions filled up so fast. I know there were so many attractions cast members that got let go from the CP, and I know so many attractions cast members were trying to come back. So I knew going in that this is going to be a hard role to get into. I don't really want attractions to begin with, but I do want Trek and Trails. She said there are a few merchandise locations available, so I did take a position with merchandise. I don't want to reveal exactly where my location is. I don't think I'm going to be there for very long. I know it's a temporary role. I know it's a temporary location. What happens after this, I don't actually know. It's kind of up in the air. COVID has made my role and my position very much up in the air for what the future lies for me. I'm still going to be with the company probably once this time period's up. They gave me approximately about 6 months in this role and location before I'm either going to be forced to transfer to a different location or I'm going to be forced to transfer to a different role. I'm not particularly psyched about merchandise just because custodial was the best job I've ever had. I loved custodial with all of my heart. And going into any other role is just kind of devastating to me. When I got the call, I remember just crying because I thought everything went fine. I thought I was going home, and it felt like they were like, we know you said you're going home, but we're taking this opportunity back. But here's another opportunity. So I'm trying to remain very optimistic. If any of you guys were previous merchandise cast members, feel free to comment down below anything that might help me feel a little bit better. I'm not knocking the role. I'm still very grateful for what I've been given. I know a lot of people in my position were not given the same opportunity, and I don't want to take what I have for granted. I'm very happy that I'm back with Disney. I'm still a little heartbroken about custodial and not going back home. That's what's going on with me. I'm gonna get off, have some stuff to do, and by stuff, I mean the Mass Effect remaster to play. So I will see you guys later. Bye. Bye.